Welcome to the RJI Futures Lab, where we help you make your organization more innovative. I'm Ruben Stern. This week, turning text into audio and customized playlists from WNYC's mobile app. A startup called Spoken Layer is helping news organizations transform text stories into audio files. Founder and Chief Executive Officer Will Mayo says it helps publishers connect with audiences in interesting ways.
Turning text into audio is all about storytelling, and at the heart of it, Siri can't tell you a story, but using humans enables there to be a human element and to create a much more radio feel to the content. We work with a distributed network of voiceover artists, so we have storytellers and voiceover artists and audio editors distributed all over the world, and we manage them through a technology platform, very similar to the way Uber manages a distributed crowd of cars and drivers. I think the main reason a news organization or a brand would want to use Spoken Layer is to get access to the commuter. It's one of the largest untapped audiences. It's around 150 million people every day commuting for almost an hour and 3/4 of them alone. And to date, really only AM, FM has been able to tap into that market from a smart entertainment perspective. Music's done a great job of Pandora, Spotify, and RDO tapping into and changing what AM, FM can be for music, but nobody's made that same change for smart entertainment and news yet. A lot of it is about reaching their users in a new place. How does a brand like Time become a lifestyle brand as opposed to just a news publication that can be integrated into someone's lifestyle? They can wake up to, they can go to sleep to. And then at the end of the day, if you build a larger engaged audience, you have the ability to monetize them in new and interesting ways. Right now, I believe the news and publishing industry spends worldwide about $30 billion a year in producing news and creating it, yet they're not tapping into the headphones we're wearing around every day. So there's a couple ways to find value. One is growing readership, so taking the existing audience you have and engaging them in new places which they weren't able to consume content before, whether it's waking up in the morning, while you're eating lunch, while you're driving home, or while you're exercising, or even if you're just too busy or too lazy, so increased engagement with their content. But we're also helping those publications reach a new audience by distributing their content to a much larger network that they don't have access to, all the places where people love to consume audio.
This digital telescope will blow your mind. 1 year ago, the tallest structure in the EU was inaugurated with cutting-edge digital telescope in the viewing deck.
So we have a piece of JavaScript that we give our publishers. They put that line of JavaScript in their code, and that enables us to do two things. One, to ingest all of their content, but two, to make all the content that's available as audio listenable on their site. So it inserts a player right below the byline as part of the article, so people can make a decision of how they want to consume it, whether they want to read it or whether they want to listen to it. And our focus for native has very much been on mobile consumption. So when someone's coming to their site on an iPhone or an iPad or an Android from Twitter or Facebook, someone can come and say, oh, cool, I can listen to this.
Spoken Layer is currently focused on large media outlets like Time Magazine, KQED, and Smithsonian. Clients pay a monthly fee based on the volume of content they typically produce. New York Public Radio's flagship station, WNYC, recently updated its mobile app with a new feature called Discover. Users now can get customized playlists tailored to their individual preferences and can listen to the downloaded audio offline. We sat down with one of the app's creators to find out how they developed the new feature.
We've been thinking a lot about how do we showcase our content on digital platforms. We were also thinking about, how do we deliver something a little bit different for the mobile consumer, something that's a little bit more tied to what people do on their daily lives. You pick a few topics and you select a length of time, and Discover makes a playlist for you to listen to things on your commute. It's very simple. It took us about a month to design the interface, I would say. And we wanted something that was very modern, intuitive. You'll notice Discover has a look that's a little bit differentiated from the rest of the WNYC app. It's more futuristic in a way.
The selection of stories for each playlist is based primarily on topics and tags.
It's WNYC content, but not only, it's also NPR content, PRI, PRX, APM. It's a lot of content in there. We'll remove content that users have already listened to. And if you've already listened to everything, it'll fetch things that are related. We had made some assumption in terms of which users might be interested in. We've seen, for instance, that at WNYC we have two different types of users. You have, number one, an older user who's more into news and who's more male than female. And then you have a younger persona, a younger audience, which is more women, and who's more interested in storytelling, in learning new things, in discovering in discovering new content as well. We had to work on the WNYC app. We were, repackaging it from native to a PhoneGap platform. And the reason why we are building on PhoneGap is, we have a small team of developers. We have about 5 to 7 developers, and so with PhoneGap, that allows us to have, anyone jump in the code because it's mostly HTML and CSS and JavaScript. We have a few native components to support audio, for instance. We're using also the VLC, the open source VLC player. We are going to be observing what users are listening to and what users like and how long they listen for something. We're working on an algorithm to kind of fine-tune the recommendation that we're giving to our users. And that's something that I feel like we're at the very beginning of that, and we're just going to be working more on giving users the best content that they want to listen to.
The WNYC app is free to download and is available for both iOS and Android devices. And that's it for this report from the RJI Futures Lab. I'm Ruben Stern. We'll see you in the future.